It's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the number one business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we are on a mission. And our mission is to empower, our mission is to inspire, and our mission really is to provide you, that's right, you, the hard working entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. On this episode, we have the one and only Jennifer. She's in the building, and she'll be talking about grace under pressure and being able to really lead and grieve at the same time. It sounds like an oxymoron, but we'll figure that out. What's going on? How you doing, Jennifer?
I am doing well. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on the show. And thank you to viewers for tuning in. You have a lot of choices and you choose to be with us. So thanks for allowing us to stream into your home. Before we get started, Jennifer, we'll get into your background, how famous you are. Some people already looked at your resume. Some people already Googled you and all that stuff. But I like to start off because you talk about grace under pressure. What does grace under pressure mean? If someone want to know what in the LL Cool J does grace under pressure mean, please explain that to us.
Okay, well, it all got started after the pageant per se, um, because there's a certain level of grace that entrepreneurs come with. There's a certain level of poise, professionalism that all falls under the line of grace. But sometimes when you're dealing with a number of challenges, adversities, setbacks, all of that play into pressure. And how can you still show up as a professional with a smile on your face while your heart is probably broken behind the scenes? And that's pretty much what grace under pressure for me is because while I was showing up as a CEO, entrepreneur in my business, I was also competing for the pageant, and I was grieving the loss of my mother, along with five other students who are in my organization who lost parents of their own during that same time. So trying to stay strong for them. Um, it was ripping the band-aid off the fact that I just lost my mom too. So that was a challenge. But hey, once I didn't realize how strong I was until I was forced to be strong. So that's what
That
grace
leads
under
to
pressure looks
question.
like for me.
Yeah, thanks for being so transparent, so open to your condolences to you as well. I guess the question I have is how does a leader be able to lead when their heart is hurting? Is there one or two suggestions that you give to someone that's watching and listening right now?
Oh, absolutely. The first thing for me is transparency and vulnerability. I was never one to share my story. A lot of times I try to keep things, secretive because not everybody can handle your story. But one of the things is making sure that you're relatable. And so, one of the things about transparency and vulnerability that happened, that I watched happen, was that the kids that I seeded into, the children that I served, when I showed them my vulnerabilities, they were able to pour back into me some of the same statements, some of the same encouragements, some of the same prayers back into me, and so I know that may not be applicable for every business person, but that was definitely business applicable to me, and so a lot of my students, they just poured right back into me. You're gonna be okay, you can do this, we got your back. They cheered me on, they hyped me up, so all of those different types of things. And even my captain, she's another leader. What she did for me is like, I just need you to show up as an adult presence. I'll run the show. I'll run practices and things like that. They kind of gave me space to fall apart in some regard, and then they took up the slack. And then when I got myself together, I kicked back into regular schedule programming.
Ah, I love it. And for someone that's watching right now and says, Shay, I like what I'm hearing. I'm getting bits and pieces, but I'm in the kitchen right now. And this sounds good, but I don't know who this person is. Or someone else who's listening to the podcast now, thank you so much. Or maybe we're on your big screen TV. Hey, you're watching us live right now. Um, let's take a moment if we can. We'll slow down and you answer the question in a moment. Who are you, right? What's the backstory? And what was that defining moment in your life that led you to being so passionate about what you're doing now? Please tell us your backstory.
Okay, so my name is Jennifer Dickerson. For those that don't know me, I am the CEO and the founder of Heart and Soul Performing Arts. This is a youth development organization that focuses on the holistic well being of children while giving them a platform to express their feelings, their thoughts, their emotions through dance and movement when they can't always articulate the words that they want to say. We also are an organization that bridges the gaps between parents, the children, the school systems, and the communities. So a lot of times in this generation, there's a generational gap between our students and our parents. So sometimes trying to teach them effective communication on how they can talk to each other and effectively kind of get their point across without the other person feeling unseen, unheard, or unappreciated. I said all of that is because I grew up in a strict Pentecostal church. There were a lot of things that I could do. And there was probably more things that I couldn't do. But I there's conversations that you couldn't have without being met with that phrase, um, "You'll be okay," or "Take it to God in prayer." But
Mm-hmm.
to a 5 year old, to a 10 year old, to a 15 year old, what does that look like? So that was the drawing point, that I felt firsthand, overlooked and emotionally unseen. And so I created Heart and Soul, as an outlet for children to be able to express themselves. Because sometimes what I've learned over this time is that feelings are temporary. So what we're feeling in the moment, doesn't always last forever. And then sometimes we're in flight or flight. And sometimes we have to be regulated to a baseline so that we can think rationally. Sometimes it's just human behavior or reaction time. So I want everybody to understand those scientific moments as well as the realistic moments and try to meet somewhere in the middle.
I love how you talked about that. Thanks for being so open and so transparent. And for the person that's out there that's listening and saying, man, brought up by the Pentecostal Church, Shay, I love what I'm hearing, but I'm just curious, how did she go from being a teen mom to building something so positive? And more importantly, how were you able to keep believing in yourself? And I know it's a loaded question, very loaded question, but it really is like, yeah, this is the person went from a teen mom to doing something powerful. How did you keep believing in yourself and going through all that?
Well, the truth of the matter is, I didn't always believe in myself. I was
Mm.
surrounded by a few people who, kind of kept me going. What I did know is that I had a son at this point, and my son was going to look to me as the best person in the world. So I didn't necessarily do it for me. I did it for him because when they reached for me, I wanted them to know that I was the best mom and that I put my best foot forward. So the days that I felt like I didn't want to get out of bed, I'd look over at him and realize I got to do it for him. Those days that, I was looking for dollars to meet, ends to meet, working two and three jobs, barely sleeping, all those different types of things. I look over at him and was like, I did it for him. So that's the real reason. But I was surrounded by a few people who did believe in me, and they would push me along the way and be like, Jen, you got this. You can do this. My mom and was one of my biggest cheerleaders, letting me know that you got this and you don't have to do it alone. And that's the reason why my hashtag for my business is "It still takes a village." I said, because it takes a village of people to still raise children. But some of us have grown up and we were traumatized by certain events, certain circumstances, and us that are still healing, we need that village now as adults as well.
What do you say to the person that's watching right now? And that's spot on, by the way, saying, Shay, I'm just curious, how is she able to do everything that she has going on and still take care of herself without feeling guilty? Let me frame it for you if I can. There's someone watching right now and saying, you know what? Let her know, Shay, that I'm someone that has to take care of a husband, or I'm in a relationship. I got to take care of a girlfriend, or maybe to someone that has to take care of kids, and their kids have a schedule. So they're like, whoa, I got a lot going on. Someone else is saying, hey, let them know I'm a caregiver, Shay, like you. I take care of other people that are dependent on me. Someone else is saying, well, shoot, I work a full-time job. I'm a dualpreneur, and I got a full-time business going on. With all so much going on, how does one juggle everything and still find time for themselves without feeling guilty? What would you say to that person?
Ooh, now that is a hard question. So much so that I literally just realized that I have so much going on. So I do too work a full time job. I run a full time business. I am a full time parent and grandparent. Um, and still caring to the demands, because I work for State Highway SHA. So of course, when the weather gets funky, we on call all the time. But at the end of the day, the thing is just prioritize um, what can be done tomorrow. One of the things that I had to learn to do was to delegate what's important and what can wait until tomorrow. And then at the end of the day, that I owe it to myself to give myself some time. So I literally start out with an hour a night just to sit with myself, to check in with myself, see how I'm doing, and just find that balance. And then as I start trusting people more, people, building a team and trusting them, then you can start to delegate some things to them. That way you can still find the necessary time to take care of yourself.
You get so excited when you're talking about taking care of others and helping others get through this. What do you enjoy most about what you're doing these days? You seem to be having a lot of fun.
Oh, actually being able to have fun with the kids. One of the things is, I think I missed out on a playful childhood because I was the oldest. I was the oldest sibling, so I always was a caregiver. I was always had to look out for the next one, my sisters, my cousins, my everybody, the community, because I was responsible. So in this moment, when I'm helping the kids become strong leaders and things like that, I get to live out the kid I always wanted to be. When I was younger, so that makes it fun, because then I get to act silly and funny, and they enjoy that part of it, because I'm not too old that I can't meet them where they are. But it just gives the fun outlet to just have fun, to live in the moment. I think I spent so much time trying to prepare for my next moment that I didn't just live in the moment. So that's the fun part about right now.
I love it, boy. That's a good time. This is a probably a good segue to a segment we have here called "Today Is My January 1st." And maybe y'all think her life's been perfect. I mean, she's like, "Wow, Shay, she was a teen mom. Look at her, man. She don't have no problems. Life is good." We'll find out. She's been through some other challenges. But for those folks who watch every night and you tune in, you know what we're about to do. You might even wait for this moment where you get able to say those magic words. Today is my January 1st. Happy New Year to you. One of our favorite segments. For those folks that are tuning in for the very first time, welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show. Today is my January 1st is our personal mantra at the show. It represents a fresh start. It represents a do-over. It means our past, no matter how dark and gloomy that past is, or how bright and sunny that past is, you know what? The past no longer equals the future. And so my question for the one and only Jennifer on the other side is really twofold. Number one, just when you hear the words, today is my January 1st, what do you hear? And number two, was there a challenge in your life? Was there a setback? Something didn't go the way you wanted it to? And how did you bounce back?
All right, so when I hear January 1st, everybody, the first thing I hear is Happy New Year to me, a celebration of all things new. So, what that says to me is that as I walk into this new journey, this new chapter, this new day, this new year, I get to walk in as the version of me that learned all the lessons. So, I get the opportunity to change some things, so that's going to be good, and to celebrate more of the things that I did accomplish, and more of the things that may not come to fruition, and just realize you don't fail. You just have an opportunity to learn and grow. So that's my happy new year. So when you're talking about setbacks and things that put you back a little bit, I have two. I had a personal one, and then business. So my personal one was me becoming a teen mom. So I didn't have an opportunity to go on a full ride to school. I was a 3.8 student, and I had a full ride to go, but I was determined to be a good mom. So I put all of the things that I desired on the back burner. So I felt that was a part of a setback for me, because that was something I really wanted to do, but I didn't let that stop me, because I went back to school and I did get that degree. So that's something that if you do have a dream or a goal that you want to fulfill, all you have to do is put your first one foot forward, and you can do it. Don't limit yourself, because your experiences are what qualify you to be able to do the next thing. And then my business setback was definitely this grieving moment. This is the most recent one. Um, I've had 5 children in 5 months. lose a parent, whether it was a mother or a father, and to be able to have to find the strength, find the courage to stand tall and kind of hold them through their moments without breaking while having my moment at the same time was probably one of the biggest setbacks, because that setback looks like unmotivated. Like I just did not have the strength to want to do anything. There was times I wanted to just throw heart and soul away, if I could be 100% honest, because it almost seemed like it was just too much emotionally, um, and I just didn't want that burden. But each time I saw a kid say, thank you for being there for me, thank you for showing up for me, or a parent said, my child is a better person because you were there, you didn't have to say anything, just because you showed up, your presence made a difference in their life. That gave me just enough strength, just enough courage to keep pushing forward. So I realized that what I went through wasn't just for me, but it became the medicine that was going to help somebody else heal.
Wow. Thanks for sharing again. Thanks for being so transparent, and that all you do encouraging others. And it's part of your DNA. It's part of what you like to
Yes,
do. You get so excited
yes,
just
absolutely,
kind of
absolutely.
talking about it. One of my favorite questions I like to ask when we have a few minutes, which we have now, is what's one of the best pieces of advice maybe you've ever been given? And I'll frame it for the audience so they're kind of clear that you've had a lot of mentors along this journey of life. You probably read more books you can remember these days. Watching videos, I mean, 10,000 hours, what a joke. You can do that on the weekend with your thumbs, right? But if you had to step back and say, you know what, this is one of the best pieces of advice I've ever been given that I want to pass on to someone else, what would it be and why?
Advice. Um, if I had to say a piece of advice, actually, it was somebody showing up for me. I was 16 and I wanted to commit suicide, actually. And there was a woman, my godmother to be exact, who sat on the other end of that. And she was supposed to go to perform. And that particular night, I think, was God ordained. Heaven redirect everybody's steps that night. And the moment that I had decided that this was it for me, this was it, she stayed and she just held me. And when I kind of confessed that this is what I wanted to do, then she just sat with me. She sat with all of those broken pieces and she reminded me of exactly who I am. Listen, you've been called to help people. You've been called to give to people. This is what you do at the core. Remember, that's what we were talking about. And it was that moment that she actually saw me in my brokenness that made me decide in this moment that that's how I wanted to show up for other people, especially young people. But to be able to see them when they can't articulate it, be able to see them when they're broken, be able to see them when they're hurting, and then offer just a hug, a helping hand, or something, because those are going to be memorable pieces. They may not remember all that you do for them, but they are going to remember how you showed up for them.
How true. What does success look like for you these days? What does it feel like?
Well, success for me, honestly, is not what I do, it's basically who I help. Because if I can create a legacy, and one of the things is I have a foundation. I have a solid foundation, but each time I help a child, they reinforce that foundation. So again, if I right now I have 32 children that are in my performance team. So that's 32 children that are going to help one other person. That now becomes double. That becomes 60, 64. So with that type of legacy, a piece of me gets instilled into all these kids. And so when I die, then maybe they'll know what it means to give, to show up to people, to show up for people, give to those that are less fortunate, and just offer a helping hand. And at the end of the day, letting everybody know that they can evolve into the leaders that they have become. I mean, that's what we do. We create leaders, and I also restore identities, because sometimes these kids are walking around and they really don't know who they are, what they want to be, and that's okay. But we take that journey. That's what heart and soul represents. The heart represents the empathy, the love, and the courage that every child needs, and the footprint, which is a soul, represents the journey that they're going to take. And then together, it's infusing the hard work and the hard work at the same time.
I love it, by the way. Spot on. Thank you so much as we come down. the home stretch. Two-part question. Number one, what type of clients are you looking to work with these days, if any? And number two, how can folks connect with you? If they want to stay in this conversation over and beyond the day, is there a website, social media? What should they do for all the folks that are watching now?
Well, my program itself is for children who are 3 to 18, but that's just the clientele. But the parent has to trust me too. So I want to build the clientele for the parent as well, because we don't just sit and dance and do all of those different things. We have grief sessions, we have therapy. I have a homework session for children that need extra academic help. I have a behavior intervention program for those that are struggling with their behavior. So all of these things, and then I also have a piece with the parents if your child has an IEP, the policies and the curriculums that you don't understand through the school system. Because I'm also a school veteran, I worked in the school system for 15 years. I can give you who you need to speak to and the direction in which you need to go. If you're not getting the answers here, your next chain of command to get you where you need to be. So I'm here for the children and the parents, and then also the community. I'm here to partner with the community. We can bring our students to perform, or we can just come and volunteer. That's just what we do. So that's the clientele that we're building. Now, the second part of that is how can people connect with me? We are visible on all social media sites. That's TikTok, that's Facebook, that's Instagram, and that hashtag is Heart Soul Step. That's HeartSoulStep.
Give them that website one more time.
That's for Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram is Heart Soul Step, HeartSoulStep.
Ah, perfect. Spot on. Let me say thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. I got a chance to see you in person recently, so that was pretty cool. And I saw your team up there doing what they do best, which was pretty cool. And I want to say I can't wait to connect with you again soon.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me today.
And thank you to viewers. Thank you for tuning in, because without you, we don't have a show. So I never get tired of reminding you every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, no matter what's going on in your life, whether you're doing really, really well and there's a next level of success, or you've been hit with the punch that you never saw coming. The one thing I do believe is that today is your January 1st. And because of just that one reason alone, I believe your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. With that being said, my name is Che Brown. I'm out. Thanks a lot, Jennifer. Peace, everybody. We'll see you on the other side. God bless.